In today's video, I want to cover how to target your ideal customer profile without running any interest-based targeting for your Facebook ads going into 2024. This may seem like a controversial statement. I don't use any targeting right off the gate when it comes to launching a high AOV bundle for a lot of brands we consult and we manage. The reason for this is because you need to dial in your front-end unit economics. You need to generate profit. If you're pushing one single SKU and your net margins after all your COGS and your expenses is less than 70%, you need to build a higher AOV bundle. When it comes to running full broad and not doing any interest-based targeting at all whatsoever on the Facebook platform, you're going to get cheaper CPMs and cheaper CPAs. But where brands go wrong is they don't have the creative flywheel system to test creatives properly. A lot of brands, and I can tell you this because I've consulted a lot of these brands, they outsource to agencies. Now this agency is just pushing a ton of different concepts at the wall hoping it sticks. There is no data points collected. There is no information on the next steps to complete based off those data points. And ultimately, you're just relying on an agency for growth. The biggest takeaway to really dial in your paid ads is you need a creative flywheel system that has synergy across the board. To build out and pump out up to 90 creatives in a given month, you only need a team of two. You only need a creative strategist and you only need an editor. The creative strategist goes in, develops concepts, ad angles to hit new ideal customer profiles, and especially when you come up with a high AOV bundle offering, now your ideal customer profile expands. So now you have the freedom to reach different pockets of audiences, and that's solely done at the creative level. When it comes to order operations, you should go horizontal and expand as fast as you can with static images. Static images are by far the most efficient way to test new concepts before you invest into further of animated GIFs and possibly even user-generated content. I see too many brands who just go in and invest a ton of money into UGC and hope that fixes their whole ad account structure. I see a lot of consultants or agency owners say UGC is the way forward. This is how you're going to scale your brand. When I look at our data points from Q4, from Black Friday to Cyber Monday, majority, I would say 80% of our winning ads came from static images. The other 20% was from founder videos. If you just run generic UGC ads, you're just an anomaly with every other competitor in your space. You want to be unique. You want to split test a ton of concepts. You want to start with static images, then go into ultimately animated GIFs. And if you want to expand even further, then go full UGC. But the factor is UGC is saturated. So many brands are running UGC ads and the end consumer is tired of seeing these UGC ads. The reason why static images are so profitable is because it's easy to consume, fairly easy on the eyes as well, and people are not feeling sold from a fake ambassador, right? Because essentially with UGC, you're just using a paid ambassador or an affiliate. The longevity of your business can literally just be built with static images, but you need to dial in the creative flywheel system. Now, the most important framework is an analysis template. You need to keep track of what was tested, what was created, what was the desire, what was the ad concept. You need a short description, a hypothesis, some sort of level of awareness, because the main factor is you need to measure your creatives on Facebook based off incremental lift. Now, you might have an ad set, right? If you're following the 3-2 method or creative testing with DCTs, and you have a main winner's ad set compiling of 4 to 5 of your tests, your top winning creatives from your previous DCT test, you want to rank them on where they fill the funnel. And to do this, it's pretty simple. You look at your CPM, you look at your frequency, you look at your CPM, and you look at your AOV, but mainly frequency and CPM, right? Anything that has a frequency above 1.4 to 1.3 to even 1.6, I've seen at most like 2.0. Those are more middle funnel / heavy bottom of the funnel retargeting ads. So if we just break down the sales funnel in its entirety, what makes the sales funnel? Well, you're going to need a split of creatives that are more top of funnel at a CPM of, let's say, around $10 to $8 and a frequency at like 1.02, 1.03. That's more top of funnel. And then as a byproduct, you also need secondary creatives that are more middle funnel / bottom of the funnel retargeting that can aid and fill the whole pipeline, right? So in instance, you might have 1 or 2 creatives that are acquiring brand new traffic. And just because this traffic is so unaware of your brand, they're not going to purchase right away. So your CPAs might be unprofitable. But the thing is, when you compile that with other creatives that are more middle funnel / bottom of the funnel, then you have the creative framework that is pretty much hitting those people that didn't convert, but they're coming across the ad a second time, a third time. So going fully broad, the creative does the targeting, and Facebook's going to rank your creative depending on where they feel it's best within the funnel. So now our focus is, instead of trying to force spin and force interest-based targeting on creatives that are not going to get results, or we're trying to inflate ultimate frequency and CPMs, and that's ultimately going to hurt us longer term because we're going to have to pay higher CPMs and higher CPs at scale. We are simply working with Meta's machine learning platform instead of against it. So now our focus is, can we create top of funnel creatives, or can we create middle/bottom of the funnel creatives that can fill the funnel? It's very important that you analyze your data and where your creative ranks within the pipeline on a 7-day scale. So now it's easy for us to go back to the drawing board and say, okay, where was this creative? Where did it rank? What is our focus going into the new week? And now you need some sort of testing tracker, right? To keep track of concept, creator, angle, tested hypothesis, total ad spend, blended CPC, blended CPM, blended click-through rate, conclusion, persona type. And then from there you have, is it a fresh new creative? Is it a variation, or is it an iteration? So now when you have this template, right, and you and your creative team are simply tracking what concepts are tested, where does it rank within the funnel, you now have a baseline, and yet you now have an objective from what you just spend in ad dollars, right? Instead of relying on an agency, and that agency maybe not even reporting or keeping track of what's being tested. I've seen this time and time again. You now have the warm map template, you have the blueprint to now make your creatives effective over time. So at scale, you can now create more creatives that fill the funnel based off these data points. And now you have stability following the 3-2-2 method going fully broad. So that's why it's super important to have your creative process dialed in. A lot of brands don't have an offer issue. A lot of brands don't have an ad strategy issue. Where they lack is the unity within the creative development. The reason for this is because a lot of brands are just creating random ideas and hoping it sticks. I've seen it time and time again after auditing dozens of ad accounts. Now, defining terms and using creatives to hit our ideal customer profile, this is where the angles come in. And then you go into concepts, and the order operations are simple. We want statics first, GIFs second. Then if we have legs on those two previous tests, then go up the vertical and now create UGC. But you've already have proven winners. Instead of trying to create UGC at the floodgate and investing a ton of money, wasting a ton of time from the creator to get back. On average, UGC takes like 2 weeks to make after post-production, after the creator getting rid of the product, sending raw footage, making added tone, and so forth. So we don't have time to waste, especially going into the new year. We want to hit the ground running. We want the system in place. We want statics first, GIF second, UGC last. And then we want to create constantly cycle new variations. For every single dynamic creative test, we have one single concept, 2 additional variations. Now, in theory, in this CBO environment, winning DCTs are going to get 40% of the budget. And now the modular framework is pretty simple. Whether it's a static, whether it's a GIF, whether it's UGC, right? There's always going to be a hook or some sort of headline. There's going to be some sort of copy. There's going to be a solution or a call to action within the copy to now get people to their end result based off the benefits, features of the product. And then we have our soft call to action. Now, the reason for these variants is because this is going to fill a full DCT test, right? We need 3 creatives that are variants of each other. And then from there, we can now run a congruent controlled environment test. So you need to have everything in a controlled environment. You need to constantly come up with new angles to progress your funnel. And then you want to keep tabs of your learnings and what you're testing inside some sort of template. Now you can copy this template or you can just build your own. But the factor is, you want to keep tabs of what was tested, why was it tested, did it work, what was the outcome of this test, and what are the learnings we can take going into the future. Now, once you have the structure in place, it gets to a very robust point where you can automate a lot of this stuff on the day-to-day side. You only need a team of 2, a creative strategist and an editor, to keep this up and running. With that being said, if there's any questions on how to build this out, you can check out my website, scalevelocity.io. You can look at our protocol. You can look at my white paper analyzing this from our just 2023 results and just taking all my learnings and just putting it on paper. Or you can expedite the process and book in a call down below where you can speak directly with me. What I do is simply help D2C brands build in-house for exits. And this protocol is very, very efficient. So if you're interested, book in a call down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.